Hi, welcome back to the channel. Michelle, and today I'm going to be sharing the things I spend money on in this holiday season. I've been watching some videos lately, and I just think that there's a lot of consumerism being pushed right now, buying things. So I thought it would be interesting to share what I choose to spend my money on during the holiday season, because again, I think this is different for everybody, every family, kind of where you put your money, your budget, all these things come into a factor. So instead of just talking about the things I bought, I thought I would talk about the things I choose to spend money on during the holidays and the things I choose not to spend money on. So first I'm going to start with things I do purchase during the holiday season typically. And the first one is Christmas pajamas for my kids. Now there are a couple Christmases, I think 2 in the past 11 years, where I bought it for the entire family, my husband and I. But normally we don't need pajamas every year because we're adults, our sizes aren't changing very much. But my kids, ever since my oldest was born, so my kids are 11, 8, and 4, almost 5. Ever since they were born, we've done matching Christmas pajamas, which is getting interesting, having an 11-year-old and a 4-year-old finding something that they both would voluntarily wear is getting a little harder these days. But every year I spend money on Christmas pajamas, and it's usually, under $40 for the 3 kids. And I really like every Christmas Eve after we come home from church or a Christmas Eve service, there's a box under the Christmas tree and it has their Christmas pajamas for the next day. And it's always been a really fun tradition we have. And for me, that's worth spending money on. Number 2 that I spend money on is Christmas cards. So we take family pictures and we send out Christmas cards. And we usually purchase about 40 Christmas cards, and we usually do this through Shutterfly. And I think it cost me like $38 to do it this year. But holiday cards are important to me because, one, it's the only time we have a nice family picture of all of us. And what I do is every year I order an extra card for just us to keep. And I have this display sled that I got a few years ago from a relative, and you can put pictures and stuff on it. So every year we put past year's Christmas cards on there so my kids can kind of see how they've grown through the Christmas cards, because we do it every single year, and it's kind of a really cool display piece but shows all of us through the years. So Christmas cards, we always spend money on buying those every year and sending those out. Next is advent calendars. I have a video, I'll link up above for you. We do advent calendars every year, and that's looked different over the years. Past years, it was Lego advent calendars. I think last year we did Build-A-Bear as a family because there was like a $50 thing for one, so we did one. And in past years, we've done one Lego box. The kids have had separate Lego boxes, and it looks different every year depending on what they're into. When my oldest was little, we did the books. Every day was a different book. I have a gingerbread house that every day had Hershey's Kisses in it. So it's looked different throughout the years. Check out that video if you want to see what we've done this past year. But advent calendars have always been something we've traditionally done in our house. And next, obviously, is I spend money on presents. Although I do think I do it a little differently than a lot of what you see on here. Each of my kids gets 3 gifts and then a gift from Santa. And the 3 gifts is not for any specific reason. It's not the 3 wise men. It's not the something you need, something to read. It's nothing to that. I just think 3 is a really good number. And we've always just gone with that. And they get a 4th gift from Santa. And that might seem like not a lot, especially with what you've been seeing on social media. But when you really think about it, that's 12 gifts coming into my house because I have 3 kids. That's a lot, and they do have stockings, and we go to 2 other Christmases during actual Christmas Day. We go to my sister's, and then we go to my husband's sister, and they get a ton of stuff from there. We have to take our minivan whenever we go because we literally come back, and the entire back is full of stuff. And I'm very grateful and blessed that people want to share things with my kids and give them gifts. But I also want to be mindful of, what they can take and handle. There's been past Christmases, by the time we've gotten to the 3rd Christmas, they don't want to open gifts anymore. They're tired. They don't want to do it. The fun of it has kind of worn off. My kids have never been, we're only getting 3. And I was actually having a conversation with my oldest this year when we were shopping. She asked about presents. I said, well, you're each getting 3 presents. She's like, oh, wow, that's a lot. And I think that's kind of the mentality that Christmas isn't necessarily about the presents and about knocking those of you who love to give presents or that's your love language. Saying for me personally, stuff doesn't mean that much to me. And there's a lot more during the holidays that we do. And budget-wise, I do have to be mindful of that too. We're a single income family, that is by choice, yes, but I don't want to be putting all my money towards just stuff. And I'm very intentional about those 3 gifts they get from me, and then Santa gets, whatever Santa gets. So that is something we spend money on, presents, but we do it a little differently, and especially with adults in our lives. We don't do gifts, we do charitable giving. In their name, we donate something. Because again, I don't think as adults we need candles or socks or the chocolate bars, the things you get people, common adult gifts. I'd much rather put that money towards something that can help people, because I do think it is a time to be mindful of what you have, be thankful for that, but also be mindful that other people aren't in that same situation, and anything you can do to help is helpful. So next thing I do spend money on is winter clothes and gear and snow boots and all that stuff. And that's usually been my oldest, always needs the new every year. Snow pants can be handed down. My 4-year-old is currently rocking some hot pink neon snow pants, and he loves them. But those have been passed down from my girls. So it's usually my oldest who needs new snow pants or a new jacket or something like that. Snow gear, snow pants, snow boots. This year my oldest needed pants and long sleeve shirts. Because again, she's the oldest, there's not much to hand down. And even with my 4-year-old, we're thankful that people have shared, hand-me-downs from their sons. So even though, he does wear some of his sister's clothes, hand-me-downs from others as well, and he's got lots of cousins and things like that. But my oldest usually needs newer clothes. And that's something we spent money on this past year. Next is Christmas movie night. So I do one every year. I'll link up above last year's. And it's just a family meal that's planned around a specific Christmas movie. We've done The Grinch, we've done A Christmas Story, we've done a bunch of them, Polar Express, and it's fun. I make the food themed kind of from the movie, and I decorate the dining room to kind of fit. And I do have like a budget of $20 for this. I don't want to go overboard. I don't want it to make a Pinterest board about it. I just want to make it fun. I try to use as much things we already have on hand. Printable cutout things that I can just print at home and put on there to make it a little bit more fun. But that is something that is, I think, worth spending my money on. It's something my kids remember year after year. They keep bugging me this year to tell them what it is, what movie we're doing. I said, it's a surprise. So that is something I hope that they remember in years to come, especially as they get older and they go off and they have their own families and they watch these movies when they're older, that they'll have these memories of what we did for those movie nights. So I think that's really worth my time and energy and money. Next would be charitable giving. That is something I've already mentioned, that we do a lot of charitable giving during this time of year, because again, I think that's something to be mindful of, that as adults, like I said, we don't need to have all these little random things or gifts. That there are a lot of organizations that you can give a physical thing when you give a gift. We do a lot of Lutheran World Relief gifts during Christmas time, and it has a little ornament with a string attached, and it comes with a card. It says this was given in your honor. So if you want to physically give something, there's a lot of options out there, especially during the holidays of charitable giving you can give, and you give them a physical thing. But I do think that's a good source of our money, and where we should be kind of focusing during the holiday season. My kids don't need a million little trinket junk things that it's going to be gone in a couple months or thrown out or donated. That spending my money in a certain area makes more sense. So next, I'm going to talk about the things I don't spend money on during the holiday season. So the first one is holiday decor. As you can see here, a lot of my holiday decor is things that have been handed down to me. So from my grandmother or my mom. A lot of it is my kids, things they've made. This is one of my kids. They made the wreath fingerprints. That's another one of my kids. Wreath fingerprints. A lot of them is just decorations they've colored or created from when they were little. A lot of it's been handed down. Most of my stuff doesn't come from Target or Home Goods or any of that. I can literally go through my entire house and tell you where every single item has come from, because it's meaningful to me. And does it look picture perfect? Does it look like it's in a catalog on Pinterest? No, but it's a representation of my family, and that's what brings me joy through the holiday season. So I can admire those things in Home Goods or Target or wherever it is, and be like, that's pretty, that's cute, but I don't need it in my house. And that's okay. A lot of the things I've made myself over the years, I've made gingerbread wreaths, and like I said, the gingerbread advent calendar. I've made things with my kids over the years. Those are the things I want up year after year as reminders of my family and what we represent, and just that coziness of being us, that you can't come into my house and not really get the sense of who we are. So I don't buy any new holiday decor or anything like that every year. I don't buy any specialty snacks. I know that it's really popular to have like restock videos right now where they kind of restock their pantry or their cocoa bars or whatever. We don't do any of that. And one of the reasons is because my youngest daughter has celiac disease, so she has to have a 100% gluten-free diet. So we don't bring gluten into the house. And a lot of those snacks and cute items you're seeing are not gluten-free. So that is part of it. Two, I really don't think, again, I'm not a big aesthetics person. I don't need a, cutely decorated cocoa bar or all these little things, or taking all the cookies out to put them in a jar. I don't understand. Just leave them in the package, it's fine. That's just not who I am. So I don't do any type of specialty holiday snacks. I know Trader Joe's carries some gluten-free options, but again, nearest Trader Joe's to me is well over an hour away. I'm not going to drive out to Trader Joe's just to get some cute holiday snacks. If I'm there, I might pick something up. But for example, I remember when we were there for during November time, because we were getting some stuff for Thanksgiving, they had pumpkin cookies and all these pumpkin things, and they were gluten-free, but guess what? My kids don't like pumpkin, so why would I buy it? They don't like pumpkin flavoring. So I don't do any of that specialty holiday snacks or cookies or any of that. Most things I make in my house are made from me from scratch. Next is, we don't do any outings or festivals that cost money. We do a lot of library program during the holidays because it's free and it's family events, so you can bring everybody. We do a lot of that. We do caroling with our church and different activities like that, but we don't do anything that actually cost money. We do go see the Christmas trees, the Museum of Science and Industry often, but usually we have a membership that we get every year, so it's not like we're outwardly paying just to go see that, but we don't do that. We spend a lot of time at home with each other, and we go and do those activities, and our month is still very full. Next would be, I don't spend money on any specialty scented candles, soap, cleaning sprays, all that stuff. And again, that's kind of my preference. I don't like artificial fragrance. I gave up artificial fragrances, and I use essential oils. Now I have diffusers throughout my house, and I much prefer that. Scent and things like plugins I'm really sensitive to now because I've been so far removed from artificial scent that I can recognize it really easily, and I find it irritating. So I don't do any candles. I do know they make more natural candles, but open flames in my house is not a good idea. I can very much imagine my 8-year-old try to touch the flame, just that's how she is. So we don't do real candles. I have the fake, battery-operated flicker candles. And I have diffusers, essential oil diffusers throughout my house, but I don't like artificial fragrance. So candles are out, plugins are out. I don't like cleaning sprays with strong scents. And then things like Bath & Body Works. I know that's really popular during the holidays too. I really dislike Bath & Body Works. It irritates my skin. I have sensitive skin, and my kids to a degree do too. They get irritation from using it. And Bath & Body Works, I'm not a big supporter of because things like their hand sanitizer has wheat in it, which, again, being gluten-free, celiac, she's not eating this hand sanitizer, obviously, but she's putting it on her hands, touches food goes in her mouth. It annoys me because it's not a necessary ingredient. It's something they have in there, and they don't have a big disclaimer about it. So I'm not a big fan of highly scented things, so I don't spend money on any of those things. Next would be holiday outfits. We don't spend money on those, so we don't buy specialty outfits for Christmas. My kids wear whatever they want. Some years they've worn their Christmas pajamas that they woke up in to different family gatherings. And again, comfortable. We're traveling to 2 different houses, so I think we spent a total of 3.5 hours driving on Christmas. I want to be comfortable, and a big frilly dress isn't necessarily comfortable. They can wear whatever they want. I don't care as long as they're dressed. We don't buy specialty holiday outfits to wear for Christmas. Next, I don't spend money on gingerbread house kits. Again, this is because, one, the celiac thing, yes. There are gluten-free gingerbread houses out there, but they are ridiculously expensive. I know of one kit, it's somewhere over $40, and it's not even pre-made. You just get a mix and some allergy-friendly candy, and you still have to make it yourself, and it's tiny. So that just irritates me that there's not more options for the allergy community out there. I've made our gingerbread house the last few years since my daughter was diagnosed. It does take some time and effort, but the kids have fun with it. We get the candy, we do it as a group. So it's a lot of fun that way, but I haven't bought a pre-made gingerbread house since my daughter was diagnosed with celiac 4 years ago. We just don't spend money on that. And it's something I wish we could. I wish we could get like a Batman gingerbread house or those really cool ones you see in the store that are, cheap. But we can't. We have to make it our own, so we don't spend money on those. Next is we don't spend money on professional photos. Like I said, we do Christmas photos every year, but we don't go somewhere to get someone to take the pictures. Either we take it ourselves using our cameras, or my sister-in-law will sometimes do it because she's usually at our house for Thanksgiving. She'll take pictures for us as a family, and that's what we use for the cards. And again, we don't have specialty outfits or anything for that. Kids wear what they wear. But I think, again, it's important to have those pictures every year as a reminder that we're all together and we can put it on our board, and we can use those pictures year after year as a reminder. But we don't spend any money to actually do it besides purchasing the cards. Next would be travel. We don't spend any money during travel during the holidays. Like I said, we do drive to family members' houses back and to and from. But that's about all we do. We don't go on any trips or anything. My husband does typically have the week after Christmas off. So we could potentially, but we normally don't. My kids really just like to be at home and play with all the toys and things they got after Christmas, and to kind of just decompress from the entire holiday season. And Christmas itself is a lot. So we don't do any travel during this, and we don't spend any money on that. Next would be ornaments. I spend no money on ornaments, and there's a reason for that. My mother-in-law every year gives everybody Hallmark ornaments, kind of themed around each person. So I like penguins, so I get a lot of penguin ornaments. My husband likes Star Trek and Star Wars, so he gets a lot of those type of ornaments. And then my kids will get different ornaments. My middle child got Barbie last year. My oldest got a horse ornament because she rides horses. So she does that every single year, and she's done that since I've been with my husband. We've been together 15 years, and I get at least 2 ornaments every Christmas. So you can do the math on that if each of my kids also gets 2 ornaments, that's a lot of ornaments. Our entire tree is sponsored by Hallmark. It's pretty funny. We have, I think, 3 big bins of just ornaments. I've never purchased ornaments. And the thought process is that when the kids get older, they would take their ornaments. This is what my mother-in-law does. They would take their ornaments to their house, and that would be their starter ornaments for their tree. So I get it, but it's a lot of ornaments. So I've never purchased ornaments. I never will purchase ornaments for our Christmas tree. Next is don't spend any money on Elf on the Shelf. We do not have an Elf on the Shelf. My kids have asked, and I said no, just because I don't want to. That's the honest truth. I think those ideas are kind of cute sometimes, but it's a lot of effort, and usually elves make a ton of mess and get into mischief, and we got enough going on during the holidays that we don't need that craziness. Sometimes the neighbor kids will tell my kids about what their elf did, and I think that's really cute. If that's your house, go for it. Nope, elf's not coming to my house. The last one I was thinking about is manicures or pedicures or any of that thing during the holidays. I know holiday nails are a big thing. The cute little designs and all that. Again, it's just not who I am. If that's you, great, go get your nails done, have fun. I'm not that person. The rare occasion I do wear nail polish, I'll just paint my nails myself. And I just think it's such a weird process to go have someone else do it. And I've only had it done once in my entire life, and that was for my sister-in-law's wedding. She asked that all the women in the family go and get their nails done together, so I went with that. I think it's a weird experience paying someone else to do this when you can just, I think it's weird. I think it's weird, and it's something I can do myself, and I can't fathom spending that kind of money on it, even if they turn out really cute. No, shade to anyone that does it, but it's just not me. I don't spend money on any of that. Same with, makeup or hair stuff during I don't spend any money on that. I mean, we show up to Christmas how we show up, and we're there for to spend time with family and friends, not necessarily to impress or look a certain way. This is us. So those are the things I choose to spend money on during the holidays and things I choose not to spend money on during the holidays. If you'd like to share some of the things you choose to spend money on or are really important to your family that you do every year, or things that you don't do in your family that you see happening a lot on social media that you don't do at all, let me know in the comments below. If not, thank you for watching.